Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin Matthew. Thank you for joining us. Coming up, Quality Tourism Development Group spearhead project to generate economic returns for the community. Dominica's spa and wellness industry was the subject of a two-day workshop, and work on the national abattoir is progressing satisfactorily. Stay with us for details of these stories and others after the break.
Hey, I had a good time in town last week with a pretty girl, man.
Hey, carry me next time when you're going now.
When we get paid Friday, we gonna go.
Careful, they might catch AIDS.
AIDS? Them girl pretty. Them girl can't get AIDS,
I
man.
think it's only ugly women have AIDS. Anybody could get it. If you get sick, what you can tell your wife?
Hey, your wife, come in.
Hey, change the topic. Change the topic.
Your family depends on you. Don't take home AIDS.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
The facts as they are, brought to you every day. Only on GIS Channel 7.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. A two-day consultation to improve quality and standards in the spa and wellness sector ended on Wednesday. Day 1 saw the formation of a committee to implement the standards which were presented to industry stakeholders on Day 2. The workshop was funded by UK Aid through the Caribbean Development Bank and managed by the Caribbean Export Development Agency. Dominica's Director of Tourism and Head of the Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, delivered the welcome remarks. Piper explained that a partnership is required in order to increase Dominica's stake in the $3 billion industry.
And for Dominica, the health and wellness market has the potential to contribute significantly to the growth in visitor arrivals, but more importantly, to positively impact the visitor experience. With our natural features and assets setting us aside and even ahead of other destinations, it is now time for the sector, both public and private, to recognize that a more collaborative effort is needed in order to get the sector mobilized.
The tourism official encouraged service providers to aim for compliance with industry standards.
I would like to encourage all local stakeholders in particular to take a look at the sector strategy and the standards for the sector. It is important that both private and public sector have a common goal and set of objectives as it relates to driving this sector forward. There has been talk of the Dominica experience, and while we recognize that it may mean different things to different people because of their particular interests, one of the things that we can say is that it should start with meeting and exceeding minimum level of standards. That is to ensure quality service. Then the value of each service provider's creativity and innovation can take it from there towards providing the best value for money.
Manager of Trade and Export Development at Caribbean Export, David Gomez, submitted that for Dominica's spa and wellness product to reach its full potential, the industry must be formally recognized as a contributing sector.
If you're going to be successful in making the spa and wellness or the health and wellness sector a robust one for Dominica, or one that is given the recognition, the policy recognition and priority that it is due if it is going to be developed as a real sector, a sector with real potential, then what must happen is that the operators within spa and wellness and health and wellness must now migrate from being informal and start becoming formal business operations. You cannot develop this country and this sector on the back of a sector which has a number of people who one day woke up, took a couple classes, got a certificate, and figured they're going to open a room, and then they have no accountability to the national development process. What you want to do is, if you have 50 or 60 or 70 operators in this country in health and wellness, then I think it would be quite a shot in the arm if you were able to say every one of these companies in this country are registered firms, and they're formally operating, and they're agitating for new basic levels of standards.
The industry's standards and quality requirements presentation was made by consultant Ken Mullins. The Caribbean Spa and Wellness Roadshow is intended to be taken to the rest of the region in order to integrate industry standards. GIS will bring you more from that workshop in Thursday's newscast. In more news, Honorable Ian Douglas, parliamentary representative for the Portsmouth constituency, says his constituents welcome the installation of the much talked about coffee processing plant in that area. To the question of whether a market exists for Dominica's coffee, the government official, who is also Dominica's tourism minister, responded.
Oh, most definitely, of course. I mean, if you look at the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee and what it has been able to do, we have persons who come here as tourists who want to get our local authentic coffee, and we believe that we can brand our coffee to be among the best in the world. We can call our coffee Jablote Mountain coffee. I mean, Dominica is the most rugged piece of island on the face of the earth, apart from Switzerland, really, per square meter. And so we can brand our coffee to say that we have the highest altitudes that the coffee is grown at, and because of that our taste is unique. And I believe it's a great opportunity where we can put a sort of Creole flavor to our coffee, meaning that we have a sort of French culture here that maybe none of the other English-speaking Caribbean islands can do. And we can also put a sort of English, French, Creole kind of branding to the coffee that not even probably Martinique and Guadeloupe could be able to do as well as us because of our English heritage. So I believe it's a great opportunity for us to look at that, and I mean really produce a product that will be the envy of the world.
In this flourishing coffee industry, Dominica is believed to be well positioned to become a top performer.
There is a gourmet market where persons go for things like organic gourmet products that are grown under very unique conditions and stuff. We can create that kind of packaging around our coffee that will make persons rush to our shores or rush to the shelves of the world.
An optimistic Honorable Douglas says the plant's installation in 1 Mile Portsmouth fits in with the greater aim of encouraging employment and farming in the northern area. The minister said further that at this point, farmers ought to position themselves to benefit from the anticipated coffee plant revenue.
And I think now is the time when farmers should really get the coffee seedlings and start planting coffee, because I think coffee takes a number of years to grow. So that we ourselves can take full advantage of the benefits of the establishment of the coffee plant at 1 Mile.
In more news, work on the National Abattoir is moving smoothly and on schedule. Despite frequent rains which periodically hinders the progress on that project, Alejandro Liberatore, Venezuelan engineer managing the project, says work is expected to be complete by October 2013. Liberatore informed GIS News that the project began in January of this year and currently has foundations set for 3 main buildings: a slaughterhouse for pigs, 1 for chicken, and a treatment plant. The treatment plant will ensure that the facility remains sanitary and the environment is not negatively affected. Alejandro says that it is important to the government of Venezuela, who is funding the $10 million project, that locals do the construction and the environment remains protected. GIS also spoke with Dr. John Tusse, head of the Agriculture Investment Unit in the Ministry of Agriculture, who confirmed that soon quick progress will be made with the erection of prefabricated buildings.
Presently, we have the pig abattoir in Dominica. It is on the port, Woodbridge Bay on the port. The chicken abattoir, we expect it to arrive on the 24th of September. The pig abattoir, we expect to assemble it within 3 weeks, and the chicken abattoir will be installed within 15 days.
In July, Dr. Tusse visited a replica of the abattoir in Spain and says he's impressed with what he saw. He informed the GIS News that when the project is fully operational, an average of 20,000 birds and 250 pigs will be slaughtered weekly. The National Abattoir is a response to the need for Dominica to ensure food security, reduce the import bill, and to provide employment.
As the Prime Minister clearly stated in the budget address, it is really for food substitution. We want to be self-sufficient, and we cannot depend on imported chicken all the time, taking into account all the zoonotic diseases that are elsewhere. I don't know if you heard, up to this morning they said more people are dying from bird flu in China. So we want to make sure that we have food in Dominica, ensure food security. And this is one of the reasons why we are embarking on this program. And also, very critical is this program is going to reduce on the national food import bill, create a lot of employment, and that the farmers and the Dominican people are going to consume food which is produced in a centralized hygienic location.
In more news, Minister for Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs, Honorable Gloria Shillingford, says local authorities continue to lead the way in effecting planned changes in communities across the island. The minister told Parliament last week that this has led to improved living conditions of nationals. She listed some of the benefits from the increased empowerment of local authorities.
Notably, the rapidly growing participation of interested, displayed by interested young persons in local government. And so in recent times, quite a number of young persons have been coming forward to serve and be part of the decision-making process in their communities. And as such, they are contributing significantly as chairpersons and in other leading positions. This is indeed a positive gain, Madam Speaker, and it augurs well for the further growth and development of this country. For as we all know, the future is in the hands of the youth.
The government provides support annually to over 40 local authorities. In more news, a fish lime activity in the village of Collier planned for Saturday, August 10, 2013 is one of several activities being organized by the newly formed Collier Community Tourism Development Group. The group, which is spearheaded by a number of concerned villagers resident both here and abroad, has taken on the task of creating sustainable economic development programs for the village. Andy Ravaria, who is currently pursuing a master's program in tourism development and management, is a founding member of the Community Tourism Development Group.
I'm a university student. I'm doing my master's in tourism development and management, and my undergrad was in international tourism management. I returned to the island during the summer for my internship program with DDA, and I was approached by Mr. Parkett. He's the adult education officer for the North, actually for the district, I'm sorry. He came to us indicating that there was quite a bit of individuals that he has spoken to within the community, stating that, hey, there's an issue with unemployment in our area, and the economic development here, it's not present. So he, having the idea of the Kashimuna Lake and the segment 9, Waiti Kubali Trail in our area, he came to me and approached me concerning homestay program. I then told him, you know, I did some research concerning Grosy Lane, St. Lucia, and I think Collier has the capability to do something like that. And that's where we actually started with that fish night as being our first project within the community. There are 3 other university students besides myself from the village. We decided to come together and try to see if we could help or give back to our community by creating this group and trying to do certain things within the community to build the economic situation, well, to work with the economic situation there.
Ms. Ravere says the Collier Saturday Fish Lime is designed to bring much needed economic activity to the village.
The fish lime was something that we decided to do to help with economic development within the community in itself. It's based on working with the the fishermen and the vendors that we have in the village to help with backward linkages within the community so everyone would be able to benefit, farmers, fishermen, and so forth. So the event is practically going along with our motto, which is creating sustainable economic development through sustainable tourism ventures.
The grand opening of the Fish Lime in Collioure this coming Saturday will be the first in a series of similar activities to which patrons have been invited to patronize. The public will be entertained by Lapo Cabuit and the Collioure Band Movie.
We're having a 30-foot deck being built there that will accommodate the younger people per se. We're having a band splash, then we have DJs from 12 to 2 a.m. To the southern end, we are hoping to have more of a cultural setting there where there are stalls being set up to accommodate the vendors along the street area. Particularly for that area, we'll have chairs and table setting and a stage being built there to accommodate the cultural dances. So we have the dancers like Tradibel being part of it and so on, coming on and performing. The grand opening commenced with the Lapo Cabuit, Collioure Lapo Cabuit band, going, doing this jump up, going up and down. And then we have the Collioure Band Movie, which is the cultural part that is indigenous only to the community, coming in and putting on a performance, and then we have the grand opening with the different cultural dances.
The Discover Dominica Authority West Indies Aggregate, DOMLEC, Collioure in Focus UK, is providing support to the Collioure Community Tourism Development Group in this initiative. The event is scheduled to begin at 5:30 p.m. Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence has declared that the search for a national dish for Dominica is not based on foods which are unique only to Dominica. Speaking to GIS News on Tuesday, Lawrence commented on concerns by citizens that the dish options put forward are also enjoyed in other Caribbean countries. The Chief Cultural Officer had this to say.
I don't think there's any dish really that I remember on one of our programs that somebody made the same point that is absolutely unique to Dominica. But because remember, we had embraced crapo, I come back to the crapo. And I lived in Montserrat for almost 4 years. I worked there, and they had mountain chicken as well, which they ate there. So crapo is not unique to Dominica, and yet we had it as our national dish. There are a number of islands that have fig and codfish. Well, I mean, 2 islands I know have fig and codfish, and yet fig and codfish is found in other islands of the Caribbean. You have flying fishes is Barbados, but we have flying fishes found all over the Caribbean. So it's not. We can never be that strict to say, well, we are looking for something that it's only found in Dominica. I mean, what choice would we have?
Lawrence went on to explain that Caribbean islands share like influences and histories which impact the dishes prepared in the region.
We have a similar heritage in the Caribbean, a similar culture, a similar history. You'll always find that there are some similarities in some countries. Even look at our Creole ware, for instance. You have similar things in Martinique, in Guadeloupe, in St. Lucia, even in Antigua now, you have a similar, Trinidad has a similar thing like our Creole ware. So it's not that it's only found in Dominica.
The Chief Cultural Officer says the search for Dominica's national dish, which based on surveys conducted appears to be callaloo, is about Dominican preference rather than exclusivity.
I don't think we should kind of try to be too strict. Because we would narrow it. In other words, I don't think there is any one thing. I might be wrong. I don't think there's any one thing we have here that cannot be found in another Caribbean island. I don't think so.
He then called on the nation to embrace the official national dish in the spirit of promoting Dominica's rich culture.
It's all part of culture and heritage. And, we just continue to hopefully strengthen that aspect of Dominica's life and culture. Always asking for the participation of the Dominican public because our culture belongs to us, our heritage belongs to us. So when we have identified the dish, it doesn't mean that all the other dishes should be, no, we want everybody to enjoy all the dishes as usual. It would simply be embracing an official national dish like our national flower, our national bird, and the other emblems that we have as part of our culture in Dominica.
The official national dish is expected to be announced this independence season following deliberation by Cabinet. And finally, this news time, Member of Parliament for the Mao constituency, Honorable Reuben Blackmore, says the current administration has made significant strides in its efforts to educate the island's youth. Honorable Blackmore told Parliament last week that there is tangible evidence of the impact of various programs initiated by government to improve the level of education on the island.
We have moved from the era when education was a privilege, Madam Speaker, to it being a right now, a right. And we're seeing the benefits, Madam Speaker, emerging from our investment in education. And we're saying to this ordinary and poor child from Toronto, or from Lopez de Plainville, or for Sylvina, from Sylvina, even if you're poor, hop the bus and go to school. That's what the Labour Party is all about. You should not stay at home. And we're saying to our children from the preschool level, our children from the primary school level, and from the secondary school level, that this is no excuse to stay home and say that you have the money. And Madam Speaker, you're seeing the investment and the results. So all of a sudden, Madam Speaker, we are seeing students from the rural areas excelling. It's not so. Excelling, doing very well at the CXC level, doing very well, Madam Speaker, at the grade 6 level examination, because, Madam Speaker, parents no longer have to make a rational decision to keep their children at home or to use money to pay for the buses to go to school. The children can go to school every day, well-dressed, well-fed, and prepared, Madam Speaker, to learn so that they can advance into the future, Madam Speaker.
And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, organisation Caribbean Export Conduit Caribbean Spa and Wellness Forum en Dominique semaine salam. Plusieurs monde qui engagé en affaires salam taper opportunité, ça fait bon standard qui supposé servir pour industrie salam. Organisation 10 soirs qui sorti établi participer en forum là. Nos Priscilla Privo, c'est membre organisation salam.
Aujourd'hui, nous ni on nom hors Caribbean Exports qui c'est une organisation qui a aidé pays pour développer certains services unis pour exporter en l'autre pour mener l'autre côté. Moun sa soit vini acheter service là ou bien ou ça aller l'autre pays et puis service uni pour ba moun. Comme ça ces organisations ça yo développer ça nous a créé une stratégie comment secteur là comment ta qualité service nous ka ba moun comment il supposé sorti, comment il supposé délivrer. Comme ça, c'est pas n'importe monde ça n'est vini dire yo ka faire nuance pas ou bien yo ka faire si yo ka faire ça, mais il ni pour ni standards. Comme ça yo développer standards et puis ces standards là yo développer c'est pas unique pour Dominique tout seul. C'est pour region là et puis on a 6 différents place yo calé et puis plan ça et puis Dominique c'est premier là.
La nouvelle projet hôtel resort and spa qui a bâti en ville Gotens à présent yon des mois pour finir. Parole ça là sorti au membre parlement honorable Ian Douglas. Si l'honorable Douglas projet ça là qu'a expecté pour faire une bonne contribution pour l'économie pays là. Honorable Douglas aussi fait parole qui gouvernement qui a oui visité proposition yo tapé moun qui intéressant manager facilité là et des gouvernements Dominique bien satisfait quantité de travail qui déjà fait à ce projet ça là. Projet ça là qui a montré bon relation entre Dominique et puis Morocco qui a financé projet ça là. Dans la nouvelle, State College Dominique, bien plaisir pour 20 participants qui écrit examination électricité City and Girls. Et puis, il fait bon. Parole celle-là, sorti au directeur éducation State College Dominique, M. Mervin.
On l'autre bitin nous pour célébrer c'est 20e monde qui jaka travail en affaires électriques. Nous baillons collège là baillons un programme pour 2 semestres pour préparer pour faire examen City and Girls. Et puis ça nous bien content c'est toutes ces 20e monde là qui écrit examination yo passé et puis yo passé bien bon. Et puis ça mine pour nous comme collège, c'est nous ni pour faire d'autres programmes, pas seulement pour les gens qui sont électriques, mais aussi les gens qui sont mécaniques, toutes sortes de qualités travail. Comme ça, nous bien contents, ça fait, nous bien contents, résultat bon comme ça, et puis nous allons garder pour nous faire d'autres monde et puis pour succéder comme ça.
Et puis finalement, le ministre de la Santé Dominique a avisé le public là contre la fièvre dengue qui en environ là à présent. Report qu'a montré avancement maladie salam depuis autant la pu commencer à tomber. Moun peut expériencer mal tête, autant la fièvre, vomissement et puis ça aussi expériencer tout joint à yo fait mal. Quand même ministre de la Santé a avisé le public là, moun qui a expérimenté ces symptômes salam pour contacter l'occasion médicale. Ministre là aussi a fait parole qui a fait toute bagaille pour contrôler mauvais maladies salam. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous faire pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, Luce. Au revoir.
Thank you, McPherson. Today we have one announcement. Dr. Remy Bella, visiting neurologist from Martinique, is currently holding clinics at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Patients who have seen Dr. Bernard before and need a follow-up on appointment should present themselves tomorrow. Call the appointment desk, Medical Records Department, telephone 266-2169 for further information. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Mervin. Thank you so much for watching.